There are strange things happening in our world every single day, every single moment. We hardly pay attention to any of it. But have you ever thought what will happen if it happens to you? What will happen if you glitch out of reality and end up in a place which is nowhere near to our real world? A never-ending prison of rooms? The backrooms? And the worst part is you never come back from there. And you're not alone there. This place is home of unknown entities, some with human-like intelligence, some are mindless beasts, and some creatures whose motivations and abilities are beyond our understanding. You're going to meet them all if you end up in the backrooms. First one is the Smilers. These are generally hostile and have a long smile with multiple sharp teeth and have white glowing eyes. Smilers tend to reside in dark areas only. However, they're attracted to lights and they'll chase down anything they see with a light. The entity will only start to attack if you panic and retreat, or if you make a loud noise. The best way to escape a Smiler is to keep eye contact and move away slowly. Hounds, another most dangerous entity found in the backrooms. Hounds are humanoids with strange biology, with arms and legs that are built for travel on all fours. It's a dog-like creature, attacks on anyone that provokes them. They become highly aggressive when they see someone in an aggressive state. Hounds become hostile the moment they see a human. However, they become intimidated when you give direct eye contact and stare them down. This won't work for long, however, but it should be enough time to get your bearings and make a run for it. However, if you hear a growling noise, it's safest to stay out of sight of a hound. A hound appears to be a human with long black hair growing on the head. They have sharp claws and an extremely large mouth with sharp teeth. However, this is often unseen due to the amount of hair. One of the earliest known video recordings of the backrooms depicted a wanderer running away from a hound in an area that resembled Level 0. Then comes the Skinstealer. As their name suggests, they literally are skin stealers, who are large humanoid entities that steal people's skin and wear them as a disguise. They eat human flesh when in a hunger state, otherwise roam aimlessly if they do not need to eat. These creatures are tall and have white eyes. Their outer layer of flesh is covered with microscopic bumps, similar to the suckers of an octopus tentacle. These stick to skin that's torn off of humans and push and pull on it to make it fit, until the Skinstealer looks identical to a human. Yeah, that's gross, I know. After a period of around 24 hours, the skin will be digested through the surface of the Skinstealer, and the Skinstealer will enter a docile state. A Skinstealer also has the ability to speak, but it cannot understand language. It will repeat what it hears in order to lure in prey, but it cannot actually communicate. The blood of a Skinstealer is completely translucent, so a good way to identify a Skinstealer from a normal person is by their blood. They're most commonly found on the first 4 levels, but have been reported in several other levels too. The Windows. The Windows are creatures in the shape of a window. Yes, you heard it right. The window normally looks like any other window, but when you look closely enough, you can see a shadow-like figure inside, always pointing at the target. If the target is unaware of the creature, it will attack immediately. Windows will generally appear on Level 1 through Level 2. The windows start by pointing in the direction of a wanderer, and whispers tell the wanderers to enter the window. Once close enough, the entity will grab you and pull you inside. It's rumored that it's just an empty void on the other side, even if it shows land on the other side. These windows can come in many different shapes and sizes, and the same goes for the shadowy figures behind them. The shadowy figure always looks human and will whisper to wanderers to lure them into its trap. Then come the wretches. Wretches are a human-like entity, often described as acting undead or zombie-like. They have reddish-brown skin that's dry and flaky, covered in holes and pustules, secreting a thick red-brown substance. Wretches are often skeletal in appearance. Once human, these entities were transformed via a poorly understood process. The process of transformation into a wretch appears to be related to hunger, thirst, and lack of sleep. Isolation is thought to accelerate the process, judging by the high concentration of wretches in unexplored or dangerous areas. The process of transformation into a wretch is commonly referred to as the wretched cycle among wanderers, and cannot be reversed by normal means. Wretches are common throughout the backrooms, residing in the shadows wherever humans gather due to their nature. If you encounter them once, their appearance will be more and more like a shadow. They'll start following you in the backrooms. Facelings. This is a general term for faceless people that are roaming in the backrooms. There are multiple types, each with varying levels of hostility. They are one of the most populous entities in the backrooms, and likely one of the first entities you'll encounter. The most common two forms are adult facelings and child facelings. Adult facelings are friendly and do not act with hostility unless provoked. They typically have the appearance of standard adult humans, with smooth skin replacing the entire face. They can appear as male, female, and can also appear completely androgynous. Child facelings are mischievous and hostile. They often appear in groups of 2 to 3 and will torment and attempt to kill survivors they encounter. They're almost always female and carry small, sharp objects. These typically are small pieces of sharp metal or sharp knives. However, seeing one is not always an attempt on your life. They'll sometimes just attempt to scare survivors or pull pranks on them. But in either way, they're dangerous. Their exact origin is still unknown. Dullers are strange creatures, generally found in the lower levels of the backrooms. They appear dark gray and humanoid, but they lack several prominent features, such as a face or ears. They usually run away from anything that gets close, but be aware that these entities do seem to be hostile. The entity hunts by being in a hall and having a victim in a hall on the other side of a wall. The duller will then no-clip its arm through the wall, capturing the prey on the other side, and then drag them into their hall. If you notice a duller without their hunting tactic, they'll silently run away. It's unknown what they do to you once captured. Deathmoths. These are giant moths that inhabit the backrooms. While the male deathmoths are mostly harmless and possibly even tameable, the female moths are several times larger, can spit acid, and are entirely hostile. Death moths are attracted to light, so if you hear the fluttering of wings nearby, make sure to put any light source out. Smaller death moths inhabit level 2, level 3, and level 5. But the larger and more dangerous ones only appear in level 5, where their hive is centralized and where the king and queen are. They have completely taken over the level and are the only things there, besides the mysterious beast. Deathmoths vary in hostility and biology depending on the level they're found in. The hive, considered the source of the Deathmoths, is where they are the deadliest and most aggressive. When you see a Deathmoth, avoid contact and do not act aggressive. Slowly get away from there. Clumps. These are strange, dangerous bundles of limbs, capable of tremendous speed and incredible agility. Their preferred habitat, in a majority of levels, are spaces which are tight in comparison to their size, with the largest recorded specimens being about 3 feet. Though this makes them difficult to spot, clumps may still be seen in levels 2 and level 3. Clumps seem to be in a constant state of hunger, roaming levels in search of prey. When prey is found, clumps will make their way towards it. When within 8 feet, clumps will then stretch out their longest limb in an attempt to capture it, bringing the prey towards their center and open a mouth filled with razor-sharp teeth to eat them. However, for unknown reasons, not many are known to attack right away. As clumps consist of a multitude of limbs, all varying in length and muscular structure, this unusual structure affects the way clumps run. They tend to swipe at the floor in order to move. When you spot a clump, stay silent in its presence and keep at least 8 feet distance away from it. Plague Goblins. They're named after their superficial resemblance to medieval plague doctors, are cat-sized, semi-bipedal entities that resemble a cross between a bird and a mammal. Females are generally larger than males, but are visually identical. Soft, black, insulating fur-like feathers cover the entity's body. They are opportunistic, pack-based foragers that, while usually timid and inoffensive, can be a major nuisance for explorers, especially those who travel alone. Plague goblins' behaviors vary depending on their environment, but naturally they're cautious yet opportunistic creatures, scavenging on whatever they find lying about, from food, scraps of wood and metal, supplies, sometimes even bones and body parts of deceased explorers and entities. These are stashed away in the plague goblin's cloak and seemingly disappear without a trace, regardless of the size and weight of the said object. Once areas have been cleared, they move on in search of new foraging locations. Alone, plague goblin will usually flee at the sight of humans or entities, but when in a group, they try and steal from unsuspecting explorers when given the chance. Next is crawlers. Crawlers are the collective name for all those affected by a certain, somewhat anomalous species of fungus. The fungus's growth is extremely aggressive, and the infection is present in abundance on many levels. Therefore, this makes crawlers an extremely active threat in the backrooms. The crawler fungus can only spread to humans through liquid and thrives in warm, dark, and damp places. It can only spread by contact to small animals or insects that are affected by it. Once these animals or insects reach stage 4 of the infection, they'll become extremely aggressive and will attempt to spread the fungus through any means necessary. Once humans are infected, they will progress from stage 1 to stage 5 at around 12 minutes following initial infection. This time period is extraordinarily short for complete infection. There's no known cure to the crawler infection. Not much is known about the biological structure of the crawler fungus. However, they are assumed to be able to increase and decrease temperature around them at will. The last one is death rats. Death rats are entities that can be found in various levels of the backrooms, with each population being unique depending on the level it's on. For example, there is a species of death rat that is hairless to better cope with the hot temperature of level 2. They seem to have inhabited the backrooms for many years, starting out as normal rats and slowly changing to better suit their climate. Death rats vary in abilities as they evolve their bodies and abilities to adapt to various levels. There are many other types of special death rats, but most death rats are harmless. However, some species are very dangerous and will even set traps for you. They're smarter than you think. The biology of death rats depend on the level they inhabit, but some death rats can look very similar. The most common form looks like a normal house rat with a long body and black fur. They also have strange brown horns coming out of their head that has a red glow on the tips. And that's all for today. Comment below which is your favorite in the backrooms. And please subscribe to my channel, guys, so that you never miss a single episode. See you in my next episode. Till then, bye.